Hey guys, WhiteFox1225 here, and today I want to talk to you guys about some future improvements that are going to be made to Rust, but mostly about the improvements that I want to see made to Rust and sort of my wish list for the new features for the game. So first I want to talk to you guys about a really recent update in case you guys don't know about it. So the first thing that was put in this update is that you can now set combinations to doors, so you hold E and you can enter a combination, so this helps you, door share with your friends. Next, they added better graphics to the grass, and I'm really glad because some of the graphics are a little bland, and the grass did look a little static, and it's looking a lot better now. The grass moves more, and it just looks a lot better. Another thing they added is beds. So beds are basically what sleeping bags used to be, and now in order to spawn a sleeping bag, you have to wait 4 minutes. And beds are a lot harder to make. You need a lot more materials than you do to make a sleeping bag, so it's gonna make it so that it's hard just to get killed and then immediately spawn back. So that's pretty good. It's a few good couple improvements. I definitely think there's a lot more that needs to be fixed with the game. But really, I'm just glad they're working on it, and it's hopefully they just keep improving it. So let's talk about the future improvements that they've already said they're going to make. So right now they're really focused on stopping cheaters and hackers. It's actually a pretty big problem on a lot of servers, so they're really working on ways to stop that. They also want to get the server connections better, stop some of the lag, stuff like that. And then also they're trying to make the Linux and Mac version a little better. So now onto the actual features part of the game. They're trying to make more defensive weapons because right now a lot of the weapons are pretty offensive. We have guns, grenades, explosives. So that kind of encourages more raiding, more like of a bandit style play. So they want to add more defensive weapons, and hopefully one thing I really want them to see added is traps, because I think traps would it would make people not want to raid a house if they have something really good, because you could add a spike that swings out when you open the door, and so you never go through that door, but it's sort of like a decoy. I think that would be really cool. Also, bear traps you could set to get people who are near your house, but also maybe you could set them out to try to get animals. So I hope they added something like that, because I think traps would be really cool. They're also taking away the zombies, so this is something I really wanted. I thought the zombies were, a little out of place, but they are getting rid of them. They haven't said if they're going to replace them or anything, but they said that they just think the zombies aren't really a necessary part of the game. It makes it feel like the game is more of a DayZ clone, and I completely agree with that. Another thing they wanted to do is add player customization, so you can change the way you look. They said that it's not going to be for a while, but I really like that idea, and I just love player customization in any game. So they also said maybe they're going to add it to consoles in the future, but definitely not for a while, and they said it's definitely not a priority. I think right now they're really focusing on the PC version of the game. But I would not be surprised if it came to consoles, just because of how well the game has done on PC and how much money they've made. Then they also want to add a survey helicopter. So it took me a while to find out what the survey helicopter actually is, but it's going to be piloted by NPCs, so it doesn't look like players can actually, ride the helicopter around. But there are going to be weapons on it, so there's going to be a saw, like a mounted machine gun on it, and also rocket pods. So I think this sounds really overpowered. I think it's gonna really reward players who play in groups and have a lot of weapons, and really it's really gonna make it hard to get started for someone who's just naked running through the forest with a rock. I think definitely this is overpowered in terms of PvP. I mean, obviously we haven't seen it yet, so I can't really say anything, but from the sounds of it, I think it's really going to actually make it so that PvP is something that happens a lot more, and it's a lot more player killing, which I don't like. I don't kill players, and I hate getting killed, and I'm sure you guys do too. So hopefully it's not overpowered. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So now let's get into my wish list. So first of all, I think we all know that there's some technical issues, some bugs and things like that have to be fixed. But in my wish list, I kind of want to focus on more gameplay features and things like that. So the first thing I really want to see is a farming system, and I'm not alone in this. There's lots of people on the forums that want a farming system. And before I start, I just wanted to mention that these aren't all my ideas. I went on the Rust forums a lot and got a lot of these ideas, so these aren't necessarily things I've thought of for the game. They're really just things that I want to see. Yeah, so the farming system. So it'd be cool if you could like gather seeds and start a farm, so you didn't have to go out and gather from animals all the time. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe plants could be a little scarce, so it'd actually be hard to make a farm. So not everyone would just be staying in their base, but I think it would definitely be a really cool system to add. The next thing I think the game really needs is a dynamic weather system, like rain, fog. You know, right now it's always sunny during the day and it's always just you know, just dark during the night. I think it could really use weather system, and I think the devs have mentioned that they're gonna do it. I don't see any reason not to. I think it'd be awesome. You know, thunder, just some really cool weathers would be really awesome. So moving on, one thing I would love to see is some missions in the game. Now this is, I know some people might disagree with me, some people might agree with me. I would love if there were like events where you could do missions for like these NPCs, and then you got rewarded with resources, like maybe you have to defend this village from like a wave of, you know, attackers, something like that. I think that would be really far in the future. I don't think right now the game is like at a state where they could add that, but I really would love if they could, but I think that's definitely in the future, and I think it's definitely going to be something that some people would really like and some people would really not like. So we'll have to see, but I would love to see a system like that. Another thing that I thought would be really cool is like a fishing system, and so I think the game really needs more ways to gather resources, because, you know, hitting a tree with a rock can get kind of boring. So I think some fishing would be awesome. The only problem is that if you go in the water, you die. And the water really is on the outskirts of the island, so it could be a problem. If there were like, I think it'd be cool if there were like lakes that you could go fishing in. But that would definitely be in the future, because right now they're making just small updates. But in the future, they could add like lakes and bodies of waters to the map. I think it would be really nice, and then you could, you know, go fishing and gather food like that. So if they are getting rid of the zombies, which I mean they are, I think it'd be really cool to replace the zombies with some sort of enemy. So one idea I had was like some sort of like melee class that charged you. I think it'd be cool if there were like crazy people in the woods who you know, had like knives that would charge at you. Just something to fill the gap of the zombies, because otherwise I think it'll be way easier to survive, and there'll be no reason to stay away from towns if you have a bunch of rad pills. So I think it could be cool if there was like a, you know, another faction in the game that replaced the zombies. So I think like crazy people that lived in the woods and just like attack you with like their hands. I think that'd be really cool. Even though that would be kind of like zombies, obviously it would be cool, because I think the game, like I said, really needs some sort of enemy AI. Moving on, I think it'd be really cool if they added more animals to the game, and one big thing I think is that they should make it so that if you kill a wolf, you don't get chicken breast from it. I know it's just a placeholder, but hopefully they'll change that soon. Another thing is that I think you should be able to craft binoculars, and binoculars would be really cool. I mean, there's no reason you can't. If you can craft a holographic sight, I see no reason why binoculars would be out of the range to make. So that would be really cool. And then how would you do that? I think you would probably just need metal, because like there's no glass in the game, at least right now. So definitely binoculars. I think that'd be really cool and really helpful. One thing I'd love to see is a better clothing system. So right now there are like 3 armors in the game. I don't know why, but some of them are really bright colors, like really light blue. But I would really love to see a better clothing system with more variety of like clothes. Maybe there would just be 3 types of armor, but you could change the way it looks, so it would really help with character customization. Another thing is that I would really love to see more ways to customize your base. So one way is that you can make your base out of other materials besides wood, like maybe stone. You could have like some really nice stone base. Just other ways, because I think all the bases sort of look the same with, you know, dark wood planks. Maybe even just different kinds of wood that you can make, like mahogany, cherry, I don't know. I would just love to be able to customize your base in different ways and just make it look like unique, you know. Another thing that I think would be awesome is if you could add like signs and notes. So like maybe you could add a sign outside your base that says like all trespassers will be shot, just to warn people. And for notes, you could like if you're playing with other people and you gather resources but none of your friends are online, you could leave a note telling them all the resources you gathered. I just think it'd be a really cool system, and also like, you know, you could just leave notes around, and I think it'd be a cool system just because you'd be able to communicate with players even if you're not in game. Another thing that would be really nice if they added like item degradation like they have in DayZ. Obviously, like your houses degrade and you have to repair them, but I think weapon degradation would be really good, especially if like using them caused some degradation, because then, you know, people wouldn't be as, you know, it wouldn't be like when people saw someone, they wouldn't always just kill them, because they would be worrying about whether or not their gun is gonna break. So I think that would be really a nice system to add. Another thing I would love to see in the future is like rare resources, like maybe like gold and silver, like, you know, something that would be really hard to find, but really like rewarding for players who scavenge a lot. I think that'd be cool. Other than that, I think it'd be cool if you could like craft rare weapons and just like rare armor, just things that would make you feel really special and different from everyone else. One thing that I think could be cool to add is like a thirst system. Obviously we have a hunger system, so a thirst system would work pretty similar, except you'd have to find water around the world just to make it a little more realistic. And the last thing I have on my list, this would be way in the future, maybe one of the last things they add, would be like a destructible environment. So maybe you could use like explosives to blow like a hole in a rock and then maybe like make a little, you know, hobbit house. I think that'd be really awesome. I think it'd be cool to be able to make houses in rock and just change the environment in general to suit your needs. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe even like dig underground. That would be really cool. The only problem is that if someone has like a huge compound underground, they have like really no reason to come out. But I think a destructible environment would be pretty awesome. So that's pretty much all the things that I want to see added to Rust, at least right now. So if you guys have any ideas, make sure you tell me in the comments, and thank you guys so much for watching. So in terms of future videos, I'm hoping to get an MMO chat up on Thursday. We'll be talking about the WildStar live streams. We'll be talking about whether or not subscription fees can still work well. And then on Saturday we'll have ESO Weekly, of course, and hopefully that week I'll also get a video up on Thief. So thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.